Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. Folks, we have a rock solid show for you today. We have a special guest joining us for the first time. Cannot wait to get his thoughts and theories on two massive conversations. Of course, we're talking about the new information surrounding the Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5. Folks, there is a picture floating around that I got my hands on, thanks to Ecstasies, of course, where it shows the Xbox 360 version versus the Unreal Engine Series X version. And my God, it is mind-blowing. All I can say, folks, is Xbox Game Pass continues to get more and more games, and this is another monster remake coming this year on the heels of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and of course, the Gears of War collection, rumored to be announced this June. We are eating good in the neighborhood, but let's welcome in C Money. C, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Been crazy hectic with work and stuff and a lot of
Indeed.
stuff going on. But it's good times, man. A lot of fun news with the Xbox going on. This remake stuff is dope. So yeah, man. Good times, bro. Happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining, as you always do on Thursday, and welcoming in the first time. You've seen him in the chat. He's been a generous friend of the channel for many, many years. Do you, K now, the broke boy insider? There you go, brother. Welcome to the program, dude. How you feeling?
Oh, doing good for a Thursday. Like I say, I actually took off the afternoon for work to be on this one. So,
Oh, nice. Well, we definitely appreciate that.
but yeah, I've just been playing. Like I said earlier today, I was playing some Rocket League and then some Avowed, and then also I actually tried to start into the storyline for Mortal Kombat 1. So
Nice.
mini games,
Nice.
not finishing a lot of them.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of games, not
So-
enough time, not enough hands, and the backlog
Facts.
continues to grow because guess what? If you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, you continue to eat on a daily basis. And folks, you know, we are on the cusp. We're only a couple of weeks away, seeing you and I are going to be reviewing it for your channel and my channel. South of Midnight is around the corner. I cannot wait to get my hands on the full game. That's something I'm going to play through multiple times. And again, you and I and the missus
Facts.
got a chance to hang out last month at the Microsoft experience, and we got a chance to get hands-on with South of Midnight. And I was already, the minute you picked up the controller, it felt right, it felt real, and it was just an amazing experience. And I cannot wait not only for us to be able to review it, but I can't wait for the rest of the community to actually get their hands on it and play it, because it is
Nice.
something incredibly special. But listen, folks, just to give you the the TLDR, if you will, the show's only running 75 minutes today and not a second more, because unfortunately I got to bounce out of here before 1:30. I got to go pick up my truck from the dealer, and then I got to go get Mrs. Boom because we got some stuff to do on the back end. But we are covering two major topics, and I want to jump right into it. We have a lot of information coming the way of the Oblivion remake that is expected to now be announced possibly in the next couple of weeks and be released as soon as June. Now, this is a full-on Unreal Engine 5 remake, not a remaster, a remake from the ground up, and we got some information. Now, look, I have a story pulled from VGC.com. I will be using that for context, but Pirate Nation, or Pratt Nation on Twitter, has a breakdown, and because it's so tightly put together and it's easy for conversation purposes, I'm going to use this and then of course refer to the article. I will add both posts and links in the show notes description, so if you want to check it out for yourself, by all means, when this goes up on video on demand, you'll be able to check it out. And I will of course then be breaking this conversation down into smaller videos, so they're more digestible for the working parent or people that are only, going to get milk and they just need something that they want to listen to for a 15-minute car ride. But here's what we got, folks. According to Pratt Nation, it's called the Oblivion Anniversary Remake. That is what the title of this is. It is the Anniversary Edition. The announcement, according to this leak, is coming check this out, folks. April 20th. I mean, they even down to the date they got this thing we're talking about. And of course, the release date on this leak is June. Now, this is some more information that comes the way of leakers on Discord. So please, this is not a stake in the ground confirmation. This is what is rumored. Take it with a grain of salt. See Money, check this out. It says the full remake on Unreal Engine 5 while running on the Creation Engine. So somehow they were able to combine them is insane.
That was my question.
Well, it continues. It's more fluid, like Skyrim, rather than Starfield or Fallout, but looks better than both. Graphics are being compared. Check this out, see, and well, it's being compared to what Konami did with Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, and those graphics look sweet AF. So that is really high praise for something that we have not seen yet. But it continues. Some of the original cut content, and we've talked about this for Gears of War, the trilogy. Originally, it was rumored that they were going to add some of the cutting room floors, and that happens in film as well. Well, the Oblivion Anniversary remake has going to have cut content, and it's going to be restored and added to the game. Every expansion and every piece of DLC originally released for Oblivion will be added. Now, it says here, and again, take this with a grain of salt, it's priced at $79.99. There are no pre-order bonuses, and this $80 edition is the deluxe edition that includes an art book, soundtrack, and 2 sets of Morrowind and Skyrim armor sets that are inspired by those games. This is the last part. I saw some people kind of getting upset about this, and I would say, you know what? Go rock in a corner. We shouldn't even have this game, and we got it, so stop complaining. According to this leak, there is no mod support planned due to the Unreal Engine 5 complications. And I saw some people running with that as being such a negative. I'm going to tell you this right now, folks, and I'm not insulting anybody personally. If that is your complaint, if that is what you're running with, you need to stop playing video games, because that is not a big deal. We're getting a game that is literally 3 generations old and is going to be redone with modern controls. That is exciting. If you're not excited for it, maybe you are not really a gamer. I'll say that. But see, Money, I got to go to you. This is some amazing information. I know that you love Oblivion. Let's talk about it.
I mean, obviously, you know, we have had these rumors in the past, and it's obviously the thing is that this is not a rumor, right? Like, just to be clear, like if somebody might be coming in here thinking, oh, they're just no. Bethesda themselves had this game listed on the games that they were making. This is what took place when Xbox bought them. This was already cooking. This game was supposed to be released in 2022. But Xbox, being Xbox, probably gave them all the time in the world to let them cook. It was probably going to be an Unreal Engine 4 game. And they said, why are you going to release an Unreal Engine 4 game? Let's go ahead and make it a game that's actually going to last. Like, if they would have released it, it would have already been outdated immediately when Unreal Engine 5 came out. Now they let them cook. They gave them more time than all the other games on that list, because that list, every game that released that had a release date was 2 years later. This is the only one that's breaking the mold and will now be 3 years later. So they, well, actually, technically Starfield. I think Starfield got the extra bump too at the last second. And we all saw how that turned out, right? It was amazing. So this is not a rumor. This is the reality of what's happening. The rumor are the details that we don't necessarily have 100%. We just get them from these rumors, right? So the Unreal Engine 5, I doubted it for so long because I was like, how are they going to lead like everything that the Creation Engine does is what makes this game possible. So they must have just been able to separate like the graphics layer and created some sort of, you know, plug-in or something to the Creation Engine that would just allow Unreal Engine 5 to kind of plug in and work there. So that's dope. That kind of solves the riddle for me. which is exciting because that's going to be a big deal. But the fact that it's going to have everything in it, the fact that they're taking stuff that was cut and bringing it in, that's phenomenal. Like you're getting like the ultimate Oblivion experience, everything wrapped in one shot. Like remember, it's different when you're playing a game and then you stop and then an expansion comes out. When your first playthrough is being able to kind of go through and just experience all of it as you want, that's going to be a huge difference, man. And I did see that screenshot, Boom, that you sent me. And if that's legit,
yo, it's mind blowing, right? Like,
come on, man. Come on, man. Like, if that's real, goddamn. It kind of looks like it kind of almost like, see, this is the thing, yo. These studios are crazy. Like, they're so smart. Microsoft got in and is like, yo, you're making Elder Scrolls 6, right? Cool. We need you to start getting familiar with the idea of making something that's going to look amazing. It's a great way to get their tools up to date because even though Creation Engine is what it originally ran on, they still have to update that shit to work on next gen properly, right? Like there's not just just slide it over, right? Like you got to go ahead and make it, take advantage of whatever's in there. So that's so dope that it's happening. I'm very excited. And the mod support thing, come on, man, this is the same thing as, like, for me personally, the thing with Gears of War trilogy and no multiplayer, right? It's like, you got to understand, like, these are not games that they're looking to support long term.
There you
You
go.
know what I'm saying? These are games that they use to kind of just get custom or used to the idea of putting something on next gen, on but has great impact to the community because you haven't had the trilogy of Gears of War remade looking beautiful. There are people who never played Gears of War at all who are going to be introduced for the first time with the best trilogy of it, right? Like the one that we all grew up loving, that made us fans. That's what is going to be out there. Oblivion's in the same boat, man. People don't know about Oblivion, like younger people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's looking back. Yeah, you're not young, bro.
But he's not an RPG guy. We found that out today. We'll get further into it, but
all right. But we do know a little bit because he went ahead and was saying how he played Avowed a little bit, but he never really kind of got into it too much. But either way, like there's a lot of people who are not used to this. They're not putting out Oblivion to start a new, hey, I want you to play this shit forever. Let's get that mod support going and all this shit. Like, no. Okay, no. They're putting it out as a contained product. They're not going to put mod support because they don't want people constantly going into this world and tweaking with it. They're just going to want that to come out, get you excited for their next game. If you want to do your mod support, go play Skyrim. You can mod wherever you want.
Oblivion.
Go play Starfield.
That's the thing. They have something called Skyblivion that is a mod made with both games and the way it works in this mod. That's the thing that's bugged out to me is why is the first thing someone has to do in this community is complain about the negative. Folks, let's be clear here. Oblivion is by far one of the best RPGs ever made. And now you are getting that original Xbox 360 launch title as a game that you can play that is not a remaster. It is a remake, going from the Creation Engine 150 years ago to what is expected to be a sourced, full-fledged Creation Engine using Unreal Engine 5. Now, is it 5.3? I don't know. We'll know soon enough when it's announced, but that's a really big deal. I said this before, and I'll say it again. This game, the same thing with the Gears of War trilogy, they shouldn't even exist, and they somehow are going to be released. How could that be a complaint? I have no idea, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would have never put that on. Like, if we didn't see it on that list from Bethesda themselves, I would have had a hard time
believing it,
like believing the rumor. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, that's a pretty old game. Like, it would be dope, but I don't necessarily think that that's the case. But the fact that this is not a rumor, this is factually 100% been confirmed to be happening. It's just the details that are the rumors, right? It's exactly how it's going to play out, whether it's Unreal Engine 5 or, we might all get, fooled in its creation engine too, and they ported it to the Starfield engine. We don't fucking know, but based off of what we've been hearing, it's been pretty consistent that people keep bringing up Unreal Engine 5. So, we'll see, man. But I'm really pumped for it. It's exciting times, man. We have so much. It's crazy. Like if it comes out in April, understand that you have South of Midnight,
Yep,
Oblivion, and Expedition 33.
yeah. Now
Like, that's
again,
crazy.
the rumor is that it's going to be announced next month, and that it's going to release in June. So, we
announced next month.
Announced next month. Yeah.
Okay. I missed that idea.
Because
Okay.
again, if it was coming out next month, it'd be redonkulous. Yeah.
I wish it wasn't 420, because then it would. It makes me feel like it's not the right day. You know what I'm saying? On 420, I just feel like it makes me feel like it's not legit.
Like they're pulling your leg. Yeah. No. I mean,
listen.
Yeah. Who knows? But look.
You're gonna be high when this happens.
I hope cool. Not. I won't be, because I don't even drink beer. So there you go. There's that. Listen, that's Will, funny. Let's bring you in over here. Okay, so just for some clarification, Will's not an RPG guy, which is why when he starts talking about Avowed, it's something special, because it grabbed him, and that goes to show you how powerful Avowed actually is. But Will, you got a chance to look up Oblivion because you never played it. And I'm actually a bit jealous. And I'm going to tell you why I'm jealous. You're not an RPG guy. Sure, I completely understand that. But you are going to get an opportunity with brand new, fresh eyes to play not only one of Bethesda's best RPGs. There is, without a doubt, during the 360 generation and PS3 generation, Oblivion was the GOAT. And in my opinion, still retains the title. Now, of course, you've had Oblivion. I mean, you've had Skyrim. You've had Dragon Age. There's been hundreds, if not thousands, of RPGs. But what stands the test of time has always been Oblivion. And, of course, we're getting a remade version under the Unreal Engine 5 banner. And it's going to have modern controls, modern mapping. It's expected to have all the bells and whistles. And again, I really mean this when I say this. This game should not exist, because what's the point of it? Is it going to make Bethesda and Xbox a bunch of money? No, it's probably not. But it's also going to be introducing the audience, a very potential younger audience, to a game that no one even remembers. Only old guard like us remember Oblivion, or even playing it for that matter. I want to get your thoughts on this, because, again, I know that you're not an RPG guy, but this is still another big remake coming this year. Again, we started out with Ninja Gaiden Black 2, redone in Unreal Engine 5. A complete shock day one into Xbox Game Pass. We learned that Ninja Gaiden 4, new game, Unreal Engine 5, Game Pass. But you also have coming out this year that it remakes the Unreal Engine 5.3 remake of Gears of War. Now we have the confirmation. It's basically confirmed that Oblivion is coming out. This is a really big deal, because these games are going directly into Xbox Game Pass, and it's just more games for a service that still gets a lot of overlook by many people in this community. Let's get your thoughts on that.
Excuse me, be gentle with me. This is my first time. and for those in the chat that asked where about, grab me. That's between me and my therapist.
How dare you?
Nice.
No, I'm about 12 and a half hours into About. I just left Dawn Shore, heading towards the Animancers. So that's my that's also my personal record, I think, for an RPG.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned it before you really got deeper into it on our show in the chat. I remember reading that you were kind of not sure if you were, how far you would go with it, but apparently it got you.
Yeah, I would say like
that grip. You know what I'm saying? Like, got that grip.
I'm more of a multiplayer guy than an actual RPG single story. I told Boom, campaigns for me, I need about 9 to 12 hours. So COD and all those campaigns are almost perfect for me. I can't just. I'm jealous of you guys who can sit down and play a game for 200, 300, 400 hours. It's just not me. Like I say, I need kind of a definitive time frame on what I'm playing. My Elder Scrolls experience is actually, you guys are old guard too. The Game Pass quest we used to have a couple of years ago, where play a certain game for get a certain achievement, stuff like that. Well, in my case, my entire Elder Scrolls experience is Elder Scrolls Online, play for 1 hour.
I mean, that's fair.
Nice.
I mean, if you're not into RPGs, brother, you're not into RPGs. But
I'm working on it.
yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so
Wow.
I say I'm more of the multiplayer person. So when I get online to play an RPG or the single player or something, as soon as I'm online, my friends are already hitting me up to play other stuff. So, and I'm not one to say no on playing with the friends.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just kind of want to just bring this back to Oblivion because, again, this is going into Xbox Game Pass day and date, right? Again, it has so far one price, which is $90, but it is the deluxe edition. Now, I would imagine there's going to be a regular edition that's going to be $70 because that's what it is. Maybe even a little cheaper, but for Xbox Game Pass subscribers, this is day and date. Now, the one thing that we don't know, Will, and it makes sense that it will in fact release everywhere, is this something that is going to be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and PC? The answer is, if I had to take a guess at it, yes. Because, again, it's a $90 edition of a game that a lot of people on PlayStation 5 that have moved on with different consoles, they're going to remember playing this on the PS3. There's going to be plenty of old guard there that have moved on with the PlayStation, the same way a lot of us Xbox guys move on with Xbox. This is, I mean, the timing couldn't be better personally, because now on second half of today's show, we're going to get into the handheld news. This is one of those games that's going to work perfectly on this handheld because there's no online. You don't have to be connected. You download it. It's going to be in Game Pass. You're going to be able to play it on this console via the cloud. It's going to be perfect. What are your thoughts on another big game coming to Xbox Game Pass where everyone is going to have to, that doesn't have it, going to have to actually buy it?
Oh, it's like I say, like you said, I agree. It's probably going to be a day one on PlayStation, since it was previously a multi-platform game anyway, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So that's one thing.
Technically, it launched on Xbox first, and
it
then
launched on Xbox first. It was an Xbox 360 exclusive for a little bit, but again, eventually came to PS3.
Like you said, new games are always fun, even new old games.
Yep.
But yeah, exactly. If it's on Game Pass, like I say, I'll definitely give it a shot. Like I said, that's a good thing about Game Pass. I could try it, and if I like it, then buy it. If I don't, nothing lost.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, just like you had also said, this is the year of the remaster/remake. Because the other console, PlayStation, is getting, what was it? They're getting The Last of Us 2. Aren't they doing a remaster for that one this year? And then they're getting the Days Gone remaster.
Well, and see, that's the difference though. Because if you look at the way Xbox is doing things,
older games.
Yeah, we're talking games that are 20 years old versus 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. Like for instance, there's a rumor that the God of War trilogy from the PlayStation 1 days are potentially being remade. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's for me is phenomenal, because that trilogy is
special with fire.
Yeah, tip of spear, no doubt about it. But that game is also 20 plus years old, so it's worthy of it. What's not worthy of it is something like Days Gone, which already had a PC release and that was so-called remastered and gets another. It's two companies going in the opposite direction. And Xbox is on the right side of history when it comes to these remakes.
Yeah. I get that from the Blue Brand all the time on my PS versus Xbox group. So I thought Xbox guys didn't like remasters. Like, no, we do. We just don't think games that are 3 to 5 years old deserve them.
There you go. Yeah.
Actually, I love remakes. Like, I wish they did a lot of them from the past. Like, I would love for them to kind of really go into Xbox One, like the original Xbox, and like go through their first party and just start picking some of the bangers and just remake everything, bro. I would love that, man.
One of the first games I played, because I actually came in late to the Xbox side. I actually didn't have the OG. I came in late to the 360 and really didn't play a lot on that one. I was early 2000 area PC.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
one of the first games I ever played on PC was the original Fear. Scared the
Ooh,
hell out of scared the hell out of me.
Such a great
And I was,
game.
and I've been,
R.I.P.
yeah,
Monolith.
and that's where I was going. Like
Yeah.
I say, I wanted to see a new one or a remake of that. And when that happened, I'm like, I guess that's not happening. Then we also got
Well, I mean, the remake could still happen.
yeah,
It's just not going to be.
gonna be them.
You know, it won't be them.
And then the Black Hawk Down, the 2002 game that they had, and then they just
And that's actually
just
being it's available on PC,
Yeah.
not so much yet on PS5
Yeah.
and Xbox, which that comes out. I'm buying that.
yeah,
day one.
they delayed. Sorry,
No,
they
again.
delayed the console version for the game because I think they're having controller function issues with it.
Oh, well, there you go. Well,
But
better
yeah,
better
but the
do that
campaign
than
did-
release a broken game.
The campaign did come out about 2 weeks ago, and it's a full blown, almost a full blown remake. I mean, it looks like movie scenes and everything in it.
Oh wow.
It doesn't have movie scenes, but when you watch them, you'll know the scenes from the movie.
Wow.
And they turned it more. It's more of a co-op instead of a single person like the original was.
Isn't it like free to play?
It is.
Like, isn't the campaign free to play?
The whole game is free right now.
That's crazy. I might have to check it out.
It's on Steam. I've got it downloaded. I've actually been playing. Just a side note, I've been playing some Towerborn too.
Nice. Well, listen, again, great way to open up the show, folks. The Oblivion remake is happening. Again, thanks to the information that came the way of Pirate Nation. We do know that supposedly, again, take it, it's with a ginormous grain of salt. It is called the Oblivion Anniversary Remake. That is what it's being called. It is, of course, an anniversary edition of one of the best RPGs ever made. It is coming, supposedly, the announcement on April 20th. I don't know if that's, I mean, I forgot that's 420, so maybe it could be wrong for sure. It looks a little, but we'll see. And of course, the rumor is that it's releasing this June. Now, I would imagine that it's not going to be before the showcase.
No.
That's something that would come probably
Shadow drop.
Yeah, it could be a shadow drop. It could actually, that's a great point, Will. Could actually be a shadow drop at the show. They give you a gameplay trailer available now on Xbox Game Pass. I mean, it works perfectly. But gentlemen,
I do have one more quick thing though.
Sure, good. What is it?
Like I say, I pulled it up last night when you said the topic. The original one got a 94 on Metacritic.
There you go. Yep.
And then, like I said, normally you see remasters, remakes score similar, if not higher. I'm kind of curious to see where this one falls.
It's going to be interesting to see. And here's the thing. You know, I've said this before, and we know that the Xbox, I hate to bring this up, folks, but it's a reality. The Xbox tax exists. This is one of those situations where if this was Xbox and PC only, I could see, of course, the trolls of the interwebs and some of the journalists that call themselves are so-called journalists dock off 3 points because it's only on Xbox and it's not on PlayStation yet. The fact that this is potentially, and again, this is just hypothetical because we don't know for sure, but it does appear based on some things that I've heard and just common sense reasoning, it is going to release everywhere. It's going to release on PlayStation 5. There's probably going to be a pro version. There's going to be an Xbox enhanced version of some sorts, a Series X running version, as well as a PC version. This potentially could match just based on what, and again, it's just one screenshot that me and C have seen. It looks freaking great. So if it does look as good as what we saw, then yes, this is going to be one of those games that hits high 90, and it's going to be available for everyone. And if you've never played it, I'm almost jealous because that's a game that I'd love to experience for the first time. And it literally, because it looks so different than the original and looks so much better, it's literally going to be like you're playing it for the first time. But
like I said, I'm definitely going to give it a shot.
And as you should. It's in Game Pass, not going to cost you anything, which is what people need to realize. Again, if it's not your bag, if it's not your genre, I understand, but give it a shot. At least try it. So if it's not your bag, like you can erase it. You download and erase it. But what if you play it and you're like, wait a second?
Oh, yeah, my nephew's got over 400 plus hours of Starfield.
Well, there you go. Good stuff. Okay, well, gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next topic. And the next topic is, of course, and I was calling it Kennan, which, of course, it is not. It is Kennan, Kennan. So there's no extra E. I don't know why I was calling it Kennan, but it's Kennan. Now, this story was dropped literally as we were doing the podcast last night. And it's by Jez Corden of Windows Central. And when this podcast, again, is done, I will have the link for this story in there. So if you want to read the whole story, you could. See, Money, you and I have been talking about this handheld for, I want to say, months already. And it basically has been confirmed by every journalist out there that Asus, who makes the ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X, has teamed up to deliver an OEM version of the Xbox handheld. Now, again, just for some clarity, it is not the Xbox handheld that you're going to get in 2027. This is
from Microsoft proper.
From Microsoft. This is a ROG Ally, Asus made, teamed up with Xbox version. I'm sorry, pardon for my my phone. That is my Metal Gear ringtone.
Couldn't hear
Money.
so you're good.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm going to read verbatim from the story. And I want to get your thoughts on this because we got price. We got a suggested rumored price of between $499 and $599. Now, according to Jez's story and his source, there are going to be two versions of this. One is going to be the high-ender, which is $599, and a $499. Now, what is separating these? It's probably the hard drive. One is probably going to have a terabyte storage. I mean, it could be the screen as well. It could be. I don't think it's going to be any of the parts that are inside. I think it's going to be identical. I think the $100 difference may come down to the screen, the quality of the screen.
First OLED.
It could very well be an OLED versus the regular one as well. Yeah, I mean,
they haven't done an OLED yet. Steam,
they have not.
Steam has that OLED,
and that's a very interesting point. But here's some information here. Now, again, I'm going to read verbatim from the article. It says Project Kennan, gaming handheld, price, compatibility, launch window, and everything we know so far. And it says Microsoft is working on a partnered gaming handheld with Asus set to launch later this year. Project Kennan is part of a wider effort at Microsoft to engage OEMs on Xbox-style gaming hardware. Now, this, if you didn't know, folks, is the second article that Jez dropped this week. And again, I will add both of them to the show notes. The first article, he made a specific quote, which is very exciting for me because I already have a ROG Ally, and it's a great piece of tech, but it's very PC oriented. The one thing that he said about this device that's coming and should be shown off next week. When next week, I don't know, but I think it's safe to speculate that because it's GDC, we're going to get some sort of presentation between Asus and, of course, Xbox. He said in the first article, C-Money, it unmistakably looks like a piece of Xbox hardware, which is exciting. Now, we do have confirmation, that is going to have the Xbox Guide button on it. So it's going to look and act when you press that button like it would on your controller. Now, a couple of other points here. The article goes on to say, in news which may not shock you, the Asus that is being tipped to build Xboxes, or tapped, it should say, to build Xbox's Project Kennan device, we can corroborate a report from The Verge's Tom Warren. Now, this is how I know this thing is real. But according to trusted sources in the article, Kennan blends Asus styling with an updated design conventions for a more typical of an Xbox-styled device with more prominent grips and a dedicated Xbox Guide style button. It's unclear, according to the article, whether Kennan will sit alongside any prospective Asus ROG Ally 2 or a separate a separate SKU, or whether it's going to actually be called the ROG Ally 2, because supposedly that's in development. So this is going to be a separate piece of tech that's different from the ROG Ally 2, but it is going to look and act like an Xbox. This is what we've been asking for. Now, there is an additional thought and theory that I talked about with Kay Asante and Hargeet Chani. if you remember, see, we did a podcast where we talked about the confirmation that this AI, I mean, this UI to rule them all was going to be shown this year. It was going to be available for consumer use this year. That came the way of Jason Ronald.
Yep.
So I kind of adds up, and I'm going to get your thoughts on this in a second, that they have this device. It is a OEM device being made by ROG Ally, right? We know the company. I own one of their products. They're very well made. The ROG Ally X has an excellent battery. A lot of people love that. They're going to take that sensibility, move it into what is expected to look and act like an Xbox. I think, and again, this is just me spitballing here, when we see this thing, and I think it's going to be next week, it will have this new UI to rule them all, that when you press that guide button, it should load up and look like an Xbox. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, for me, that's the selling point here.
Right.
Would be the software change. Like it's like if this was an Xbox made handheld, like if it was their handheld, there'll be 100% purchase for regardless. I would just need that handheld. This handheld is 50-50. It's either going to be they're just doing some partnership where it's just branded like an Xbox, so they put the guide on, like they're just making it look like a handheld that would belong to Xbox, and it's like all the Xbox edition, but it's still running Windows the same way, and it's still, I still got to go in and sign into these different things, and when I pop in, it does this nonsense. Like it has to be like the software portion of it has to be legit. It has to be ready to go, and it has to be, I get in there, it turns on, I'm on like an Xbox type dashboard, whether it's the one that we have on a console or whether it's the PC dashboard, and they just make it look good. And I need that, when I hit that home button, slide over happens or whatever, and boom, you got whatever information you need. Like it just needs to be seamless. Like I can't have it be a just like like a fake. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want like, hey, this looks like it, but it doesn't actually change the way you're gonna use the handheld. Because I already have a ROG Ally, and honestly, like as great as it was for a little while when I was excited that I can kind of access these different stores and all this stuff on there, it still just was tedious. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then ultimately I just
Especially
kind
on
of
the
went back.
update part. What a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
is.
It's just not that like intriguing to me. Like I'm, as cool as it was to have it, I was like, I mean, I'm good. It's a lot of energy. I went back to the Steam Deck and just doing like GeForce Now or the Xbox Cloud, right? That's the way I play my Xbox games on a handheld now. But if it's legit where you get in there and they have like this big layer on top that's like a deep layer, not like just this tiny thin layer, but instead it's actually going to be functional, where you can go deeper into it while still staying in that layer and still run stuff and make things smooth and seamless. I also would want it to be like the Steam Deck and the Switch, where I want to be able to put it into a sleep state by hitting the button, immediately hit it back, come back in, and boom, I'm right there. Like those are the types of things that are going to make me say 100% I need to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like it needs to happen. But if it's just going to be, a slight reskin, it's going to be hard pressed for me to say I'm going to go and buy it. You know what I'm saying? As cool as it would be to own the actual physical tech that looks like, an Xbox handheld, if it's just a little skin that's going to go on there, but ultimately I still have to deal with all the nonsense that having a ROG Ally, brought. And it's not, I mean, it's like a PC, it's just small, right? So it's kind of like a pain in the ass to, you don't got the keyboard, you got to use the on-screen stuff. It's just difficult, right? Not that obviously PC stuff is bad. I use PC all the time. It's just, it's just not that like I don't want tedious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want tedious. I want easy peasy. Like, if there was no other option, it's fine, right? Like, I would deal with the handheld that way, right? But which I kind of did when I walked away from Steam, but because Steam OLED came out, that screen is gorgeous. That's why I brought up an OLED for ROG, because they're not the same. Okay. Like, if I'm playing the game, the Steam Deck screen is the screen that I want. It's phenomenal. And then I just play, I have GeForce Now, streams just like it feels just like I was native. So it means nothing to me that it's not native. Um, or I have xCloud for anything else I might need. It just works for me. So because there's an option, I don't want to mess around. I don't want this to be, oh my God, I gotta go, tweak things and play around. No, I want it just to work. If you go ahead and you make that Xbox layer deeper, you know what I'm saying? Like that, just make it where I can live in that bubble and still access everything I want to access. I'm good to go.
And that makes perfect sense. Again, it's what I think a lot of us are looking for, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say this for gamers like me. I'm not a PC guy. It's just never been my bag. I like simplistic, something simplistic. Give me the console. Let me turn it on. Let it boot up like an Xbox. Even if it's not exactly to what I have at home, which is fine. You're going to get that 1-to-1 in 2027 when they release their version, the Microsoft version of their handheld, along with the new console. I would imagine that at that point, everything is going to have that universal UI. There are going to be some tweaks. There's going to be some changes. This just needs to run like an Xbox. And I have a quote here from Jez in his article that kind of sums it up. And I'll hand it off to you in a second. And Jez Corden says this: I've heard that Microsoft is committed to some pretty heavy work on Windows to really make this partnered device feel as close to an Xbox as possible. The device itself will essentially exist as proof of concept of sorts and be developed with feedback from users in the coming months. Microsoft's Xbox apps are being rebuilt and refactored to improve their usability, practicality, and use on the small screen. Microsoft's Xbox Game Bar, for example, got an update only a week ago to refresh and overhaul its visual stylings, bringing it closer to Xbox and moving it further away from Windows. And I'm good for that. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk of what could be played on this thing. Okay, so let's break that down, because the article goes on to say that any game that is Xbox Anywhere, if it has that title, you can play that game on this device, on your Series X or S, or even your Xbox One. What you can't play is all of your own games that are not in Xbox Game Pass. They're working on that. They're adding chunks of games at a time. They had a couple of updates, I think last month, where they added a bunch of games that were not on Xbox Game Pass that were, if you own them, you could play on these handhelds. That is the same thing here. I hope that kind of clears it up. So again, this is not the Xbox handheld, which people are calling it that. It is a ROG Ally, device that Xbox has teamed up with to make. Again, they're seeding the ground, ladies and gentlemen. So when they release their own version, it'll be exactly what you think it is. Now, is this a day one for you? I don't know. Is it a day one for Boom? You bet your ass it is. I'm buying it, and if it's $5.99, I'm buying it for $5.99. I'll get the most expensive edition, and I think it's just me spitballing. It's not going to have anything to do with the chipset. It is going to have to do with the storage factor. I think one is going to be a $500 gig one, and that one is $499. And I think you're going to get the $599 one that's going to give you the either 1 or even 2 terabyte storage. I don't know, because we don't have any specs, but I would imagine next week we're going to get some information on it, and maybe even a full-on reveal of actual use during the June event. We will certainly see. Will, I want to get your thoughts on this. Is this, branded Xbox device what you are looking for, and will you be a day one buyer of this product?
It's almost what I'm looking for. It's like I said, Xbox branded. So with the Xbox button on there, supposedly like they want to do, it's a start. But I'm like most people, if you're going to give me a handheld, I want to play my library of actual Xbox console games. So a day one purchase for me, probably not. Maybe somewhere down the line, because I technically bought the ROG Ally and the Legion Go. I bought both
Oh wow,
of them.
yeah, both of them.
Well,
Okay.
no, I bought them, had them both for about 2 or 3 days and returned them because they're just not for me. Like I said, to me, it's more of a travel thing. Like I say, I live here. Like I say, you see, I've got my setup right here. That's what I need.
Yeah.
But what I am hoping for is they give some sort of a dock for it. So I think Steve Money brought that up on his show the other night. But yeah, give me a dock for it so I can connect it to my TV so I can play my games, Steam library and stuff on it. And you kind of mentioned it previously. The ROG Ally does have, not counting the X, there is 2 models of the original base one. The only difference is the processor.
Okay. I see. I did not know that. I did know that
Yeah.
the processor was different.
Yeah, it's the base one. I think the high end one has the Z1 Extreme, and the base one just has the Z1.
Okay.
But they're both 512 size.
Well, listen, for me personally, I always go with more power. I always go with the bigger hard drive, especially when it comes to a handheld. Again, I had the Steam Deck. Again, it was good. I enjoyed it. Sold it privately. Went and got the ROG Ally. Enjoyed it. And it kind of sits where it is for a lot of reasons. Not because it's not a great piece of tech. It's just that it's not what I want for its user face. Like, so for you personally, you had 2 handhelds, you returned them. Did you return them because it wasn't the Xbox experience you were hoping for?
No, like I say, it's just, well, for one, like I said, one of the things I want to see in this new one that they're doing now, the screen for the ROG Ally is just too small for me. I can't deal with a 7-inch. I need at least a 7-inch screen. I need at least an 8-inch or so. The Legion Go first edition has an 8.8-inch screen.
Wow, that's nice.
But I had the Legion Go. I bought it on a Friday afternoon. I set it next to my Xbox. I sat there and stared at it for 2 days. Monday morning, I took it back. I'm like, it's more of a travel thing to me. It's not a stay-at-home play thing.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
So, and I don't go on a lot of long trips that often to justify spending that much money. But depending on, like I said, when we see what it actually is next week or whenever they do, that's just my first impression. They may show me something that blows me out of the water next week and say, yeah, I've got to have that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with the handheld. Like I use the handheld often, just because it's just easier. You know, we got a lot of kids, we got a lot of stuff going on, so it's easy to kind of just get away for a second and use it. You know, I was just on our show just talking about how my wife was cooking, and you know she wanted to play some Avowed, so I brought it to her on the Steam Deck, but over the cloud, and it's like she can't just pick it up, play it for a little bit, pick it, you know, put it back down because she's cooking. Because if she lets a little too much time goes by, it'll kick her off, you know, the internet, right? So it'll take her off the network for GeForce Now or Xbox Cloud, right? So it wasn't something that she, you know, would use there, right? So she was on the Switch, right, helping our daughter with her Animal Crossing island. But like the point is, like, there's times where you just want to be able to grab it and play when you have a moment, right?
Yep.
Like, and that's why for me handheld is great, because it just works out that way. You know, if there's just a little time, I could just go ahead and hop on. So I love the handheld, and normally, like I said, if this was the Xbox handheld, I have no doubt. I don't know 100% that the Xbox handheld is basically going to be an Xbox in your hand, right? So there wouldn't even be a conversation, right? But with this one, and boom, I think you're going to be in a similar boat. As much as you're saying, you know, you definitely want it. If you see it and it is in fact just a skin over, and you still ultimately are playing it like you would play a ROG Ally, I don't think you're you're not really into the ROG Ally as it is right now, right?
Yeah.
So you're really hoping
Fair.
that part about it being much closer to an Xbox experience, something that's going to be more streamlined and easy to use, something you don't have to think about when you're playing, and it's just literally like a portable version of your Xbox or your Xbox PC experience, but just contained in a space that's easy to use, then I think that's the winner 100%. Like, it'll be really easy to do that. But if it's just a reskin and they just put like this superficial, skin on top of it, that's where I'm gonna be like, that's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's not worth it. But I mean, I still have, I didn't, unlike you will, I still have my Rogue Ally. So why would if I wanted to play the Rogue Ally, pretty much I'm already there, right? Like, why bother?
I'll also need a body lanyard for it because I'm a rage gamer. I've got broken controllers all over the place.
Oh, they need to come with straps so you keep them on both wrists. You know what I'm saying? As you're holding, you can't. You just like,
if you go to throw it, it just kind of hangs there.
Bungee cord.
Do not throw your $600 device, sir.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
It's backwards, but it's a game controller throw zone.
Oh no, it's perfect. It comes out.
Yeah, we can see it.
I've got it hanging above a couple of dents in my living room. My kid's got me a squishy one to throw now. So.
Well, then that's actually super smart. That way, like a dog toy, so you don't break a real controller, because those things are expensive as all hell. Especially if you buy limited edition ones. Don't throw your controllers. But see, again,
if we're playing multiplayer and I kill you a lot, then you're grabbing that thing and you're launching it because you're upset that I just rocked you, murdered you too many times in the game.
I told Boom earlier, he's like, if your COD players, Modern Warfare 2019 had a camo called Damascus. And one of the things, but it's not like Cold War or Black Ops 6 is now. It wasn't just headshots to move along. Each camouflage had different things. And the last one, like for the Riot Shield, was 3 kills without dying. Well, I went through 3 controllers to try to do that.
Holy matrimony! That is just, I can't. I love my controllers too much, but
thank goodness for GameStop accident protection.
Yeah, that's right. That's quote unquote accident protection. Yeah. Look, I'll say this for me personally. What I'm hoping for is exactly what most people in the chat right now are hoping for as well. I think we're all on the same page. I have a ROG Ally. It's great, but it's also very, very heavily PC. We talked about it last night on Primetime Gaming. There are multiple sections that you have to go to update this thing, and that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that. I simply want to have this thing charged, have a game that I'm playing, start it up and go. If this looks and acts like a ROG Ally, you're right. You might be onto something. Why would I buy it then? Because it looks like an Xbox? Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's great that it's going to look like an Xbox or be unmistakably looking like an Xbox, according to Jez Corden's article. But for me, how this thing needs to work is I take it out of the box and I start it up and it does all its updates. It's fine. But when it loads up the screen, it needs to look and act like an Xbox for me to spend the money on this thing. It needs to look like, and maybe it doesn't have to be identical to what your experience is at home on your 65-inch TV. That's fine. But if it has a guide button, I would imagine that it should look and act like a guide button. Should be able to take you home, should be able to take you to your dashboard, and it should have games that are available that you own, because there's going to be some of them, not all of them. And it's also going to be available for, you're going to have games that you're playing. Again, I don't know what it's going to look like. We should get that at GDC. And that is happening starting Monday. I think it ends on Friday. One of those days, this thing is going to be shown off. At least that's my hot take on it. It makes too much sense, of course, because if you guys and gals remember a couple of weeks ago, Xbox was letting you know that they were going to be at GDC and they were going to have further information about Xbox Anywhere. And also, if you remember, even before that, I think it was in January, we had Tom Henderson, we had Tom Warren, and we had Paris Lilly say that, the Xbox Anywhere is going to make sense soon. I think that this is what they were talking about. Now, do I have that on confirmation or being confirmed? No, it's just a suggestion. But I think that is what's going to happen. and I'm here for it. Again, give me a handheld that looks like an Xbox. I just need it to act like an Xbox. If it acts like an Xbox, even if it's minuscule, even though it's something that's going to be updated from now to 2 years from now to the official handheld comes out, whenever that comes out in 2027, I just needed to functionally act like an Xbox, and then they have my money. I don't need another ROG Ally. I have one. This thing has to have something different for me to go out and spend the $600-700 on it, which I will gladly do if it gives me that experience. But look, gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here. I do got to catch up on Super Chats, and then we're going to get out of here. Again, apologies for the shorter show. I do have to pick up my truck from Kia, and it's about a half an hour ride, and I got stuff to do. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the new episode of Breakfast with Boom. Later on this evening, I will cut up this video and drop it as video so you can watch it at your leisure if you missed the live stream. But the first one of the day, first Super Chat of the day, comes the way of Sith Lord, which, by the way, just turned 40 years old. So, of course, happy birthday once again to Sith Lord, which, of course, now he has in parentheses, vintage. Brother, you're only 40. Take it easy, bro. You're a baby. It's okay. When you get to 50, 54, 55, then we can talk about vintage. He says, I will.
Shit. Bald Beanie Gang. See, Will's bad representation. That's what he's not supposed to be. He doesn't represent all of us, all right? Listen, here, okay?
I got my mohawk rocking and rolling. There you go. Yeah.
All right.
So Will says this, I will pay Will to feed C Mustard a can of olives. Oh my goodness. What is happening?
See, Money, you can go ahead and give out my confession for before the show.
This is outrageous.
That's right. So, Broke Boy has admitted to everyone here, to me at least, and then I'm going to say it to you. He also is not a fan of olives. That's right. He does not like olives. And he doesn't like mustard naked. He needs to blend it with ketchup. So the same shit, not mustard. You know what I'm saying? So he also hates mustard and olives. Get it right.
So Boom, two points of contention. One, I love olives, especially on my pizza.
Disgusting.
Cut them up, dice them up, put them on there. Delicious.
Why would you destroy such a
pizza? Is only meats, no vegetables.
Listen, vegetables count.
That's not a vegetable. The fruit.
But pineapple's
none
really
of that either.
Pizza. I've actually had it. I've made it myself. I've made the ham, good. The honey ham, and the pineapple. Delicious. But I also like mustard, and I don't need to mix ketchup. Mixing ketchup is a bonus, but I can dip like fries into a mustard. Delicious. Sorry, Will and C1. That's for you.
That's disgusting.
So your buddy.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, even if they're wrong.
I love it.
And disgusting.
Got it. Your buddy Day Reezy drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "C Money's unhealthy love for mustard and olives needs attention. I wouldn't be too long today. He turns into a raging animal after a while."
Wow.
You meant to say I wouldn't be too surprised.
So disgusting. That's so disgusting, yo.
Hey, Reezy, good to see you, brother. Thank you for the generosity. We also have, once again, our generous friend all the way from Hawaii. He has done it, folks. He has gifted one double barrel gaming membership. Nino Vestek, thank you so much for, of course, the generosity as you show each and every show. We have Starkey Love in the chat. Starkey, thank you so much, brother. Salute to you. Thank you for being here. And, of course, thank you for the generosity, folks. He drops a very generous $10 super chat. And he goes on to say, gaming media that swore that they would stop reporting leaks are gleefully putting all of the Xbox biz in the streets. I guess they meant only protect Sony. Damn hypocrites. Love y'all. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I mean, listen. Xbox bad, PlayStation good. PlayStation closed studios, don't worry about it. There's layoffs at Xbox. World is ending. Xbox is going away. It's just the way it is, but eventually things are going to change, and it's changing right now. Like, I don't know, Forza Horizon 5 being number 1 on Sony's store across the world, and 3, 4, and 13 here in the States. Look, folks, I'm here to tell you this, and again, this is not console war rhetoric. This is going to happen. And when it happens, I would imagine we're all going to be here for it. There's going to come a point in the coming months that the top 10 most paid for games, 5 of those games are going to be Xbox owned first party. And there'll be and here's another one. There'll be no PlayStation first party on that list. They will not. And when that happens, the Trojan horse effect that we've all been talking about for months will have come to fruition. I'll leave it there. We have Sean Johnson drops a very generous $2 super chat. Sean, thank you so much for the generosity, brother. Great to see you here. He says, I declare Avowed my game of the year. Damn you, Bethesda. And of course, he's referring to Oblivion coming out. Look, right now, Avowed game of the year. I honestly cannot wait for the new game plus. I hope that happens. I know I've been banging that drum. I want them to extend the level cap from 30 to 60 like they did with the Outer Worlds. I hope both of those things happen soon because I want to start playing again. We'll see. But, gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. C Money. Let's sell the brand of On Point for Gamers, where you and Doodle each and every week deliver fantastic content. And obviously, you know, you talk about why you're Xbox fans, why Xbox currently is the better brand. Even though they're in third place, they are, in my opinion, and I agree with you, the best place to play simply because of the controller, of the achievements, of the friends list, of some stuff like, I don't know, Quick Resume, which poor Ham Solo got browbeaten for being excited about it. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing. And folks, here's the thing. If you don't have it, then you don't know it. But if you do have Quick Resume, it is the best feature that has happened this generation on any platform. See Money, sell the brand, brother. Where can people subscribe to your YouTube channel? What you got going on? And more importantly, where can people follow you on social media?
Well, first, always remember that PlayStation players would never need Quick Resume because they don't have more than one game to switch away from. So why would they ever need to do such a thing?
That's a
Right?
fair
So
point, sir.
of course they're going to be upset and be like, why do you care about this thing? It doesn't matter. They barely get one game a year that matters to them, right? So so that being said, yeah, man, On Point for Gamers. You know, first of all, shout out to Boom, man. Thank you so much. You know, I love being on the show, man. So you can find me here, 12 p.m. Xbox Live every Thursday. So definitely a fun time. All right, so check us out here every week. And then On Point for Gamers, we have you know, YouTube channel. We got 4 shows a week. You know, this week has been a little wonky, last week too, but typically we have our Sunday morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern, which is Morning Quest with Doodle and C Money. That's me and my wife, Doodle, and we just have a good time doing our thing. And then Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. is Night Quest with myself, Doodle, and we have the homie Farrell Bazaar in the building. And then on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., also back with me and Doodle with the On Point Gaming Podcast. And then Friday nights is our wild night. It's the night shift. Let's Talk Gaming's at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's myself, Doodle, and it's the homie Demo Flow Gaming and our boy Hargeet Shani. So we definitely have a stacked week. Typically, it's a fun time. So definitely come rock with us. I did put the link in the chat. You know, listen, it's an Xbox show for sure. We're looking at the industry from the eyes of a hardcore Xbox fan. So yes, that does mean that we do a little mocky and make a little fun of the the downfall of PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? And the stupidity of the ponies. It's just what it is. But you know, that being said, come rock, man. We have a good time over there. And yeah, man, we also have like reviews and previews and things like that we get. So it's definitely a fun time. The homie Will Broke Boy Lewis always comes through and rocks out. So I think we're gonna have to get him on the show now that he's official. He's out here in these streets.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's
Just
a
let me know.
YouTuber now. There you go. But yeah, outside of that, man, thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Fucking let's have some fun gaming, man. That's what
Indeed,
it's all about.
absolutely, and that's what it really is. Let's have some fun. But there's a lot to get excited about, especially if you're an Xbox fan. And again, you know, next week is GDC. we should get our first look at what this thing actually looks like. I know I put up some videos where you see the handle. Those are mock-ups, folks. I wish I actually had the pictures. I don't. I don't even know if there are pictures available. I would imagine someone has them, but I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like. And again, I really do believe that that's happening sometime next week between the start of GDC and the end of GDC, which is Monday through Friday. Obviously, there is, again, supposedly there's rumored to be an Xbox Partners event happening towards the end of March. We'll see if that transpires. Also, of course, June's around the corner. We're all going to be there. Myself, Hargeet, as well as Kasante, and a bunch of other creators. We're going to be in LA covering, the Xbox showcase, which again we keep hearing is expected to be even bigger and better than last year. I don't know how that's possible, but we're going to be there for it. Will, thanks again for joining us, brother. Super appreciate it. I don't know if you're on the socials. If not, it's okay. But if somebody did want to kind of hang out with you and maybe strike up a conversation while playing Call of Duty, what's your gamer tag and where else can people find you?
See, Monday, do you remember what my gamer tag is?
Your gamer tag? God damn it. You put me on the spot. I'm going to not remember.
One right nut.
Yes, one right now. God damn it.
R-I-T-E. Not
R-I-T-E. See, I was going to spell it first. Damn it.
The funny thing is, I tried to use one left nut, and Xbox said that was offensive, so I'm not sure what they had against the left one.
That's weird.
Well,
you can go with the one right nut, but you can't with the left. That's so weird. I don't understand.
Yeah, because you spell right wrong, so they don't look at it wrong. There's only one way to spell left.
I was going to change it recently to one nut left, but
One nut. That's not a good look, yo. That would be a good look.
Everybody asks me, how do you come up with that name? I said, well, I could tell you, but it involves a tragic farming accident with a hay baler and a lot of alcohol.
Oh snap!
Yikes.
And then they look at me and say, I'm sorry. I said, well, I didn't say it was me.
That's wild. That's wild.
But
That's wild,
I have the classic, like I say, on Twitter. Do you know me from the other days? I have to change that to the do you K now. But yes. Yeah, I'm less publicized social media than Hargeet.
And that's hard to do because Hargeet.
I'm on it. I just don't publicize it.
Well, listen, brother, thank you so much for joining us. We super appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're still here, hit the like button. We had over 400 people watching live, which is awesome. The show continues to grow. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, we are 243 subscribers away from 16K. We'd love to hit that before June. Of course, we're all trucking and working hard to try and get to that 25K, 50K, 100K. And you guys and gals can help us get there by simply just clicking the subscribe button. If you're feeling ultra generous, you hit the like button. And if you're feeling super nice, you can share this out on the socials, let people know about Double Barrel Gaming, like Sith Lord does almost pretty much every day. So Sith Lord, thank you for the help as always. And of course, a big thank you to all of the super chats, channel member chats, and the gifted subs that the people in the chat continually give out. We truly appreciate it. Of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me, folks. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. They would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by the rules. Those rules, son, I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.